Welcome to Dishin It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast. I'm Regan.
And I'm Mike. Daddy-daughter Disney travel talk meets fun and friendship.
Coming up on episode 4 of Dishin It.
All aboard with listener Star Wars train mail.
Why is Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground so awesome?
Top 3 daughter and daddy pick their top 3 Disney characters.
Daughter and Daddy special Star Wars outside of the park.
Our special May the 4th theme segments, Walt's Wisdom and the Extra Magic Minute.
Please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside of the podcast at all times, because your ride is about to embark.
Welcome back to Dishin It. I'm Mike.
And I'm Regan.
May the 4th, such a special day for Star Wars fans. I'm sure lots of families watched a few movies this weekend. Regan, did we see any movies?
We saw the first 2 so far.
Yeah, we saw the first 2 in the Clone Wars series. And I got my special Brampton Beast autographed jersey, Jabba the Hutt here. Do you see that, Regan?
Yes.
Regan's looking at my jersey right now, folks at home. But I got my signed David Vallorani shirt. He's one of the assistant captains on the Brampton Beast, which is in the East Coast Hockey League. And he was having a fantastic season before it got kind of cut short. He had 71 points in, I think, 60-ish games, 31 goals, having one of his best seasons of all time. And I got his autographed Star Wars-themed jersey, Jabba the Hutt. And listeners, you might be able to see it a little later. We might have a picture or two of it up on the website. But happy May the 4th to all the listeners, the Star Wars fans at home. Big day, isn't it, May the 4th, Regan?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is, yeah. So why don't we kick off this Star Wars-themed episode 4 of Dishin It with listener train mail. Sounds like we got some mail. Regan, why not open it up?
Have a letter from James from Ireland.
What does it say?
His question is, what is Baby Yoda related to Yoda?
Okay, thanks, James from Ireland. I see we have some Ireland fan. That's really cool as we start out here. But James, thanks for your question. Is Baby Yoda related to Yoda? Okay, so, well, I don't know if we know what Baby Yoda's name is yet. And Baby Yoda's from The Mandalorian, Regan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've watched a few of those episodes and just adorable Baby Yoda. But I do not believe Baby Yoda is related to adult Yoda. They're in the same species, so the same type of character, I guess. But adult Yoda would predate Baby Yoda, because the Mandalorian sort of comes in halfway, I think after The Empire Strikes Back. That's sort of where it sort of ties in, or where we would watch it. So I think Yoda's been around far before Baby Yoda. But same species and looks like same type of power, so that's really cool. Thanks, James from Ireland, for the question. That is fantastic. Listeners, if you have questions, you can email them to us at dishinitpodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. You can even send us a question on our website, www.dishinitpodcast.com. So feel free to contact us. We're happy to try to answer your question and, gear episodes towards what you're looking for. So, Regan, episode 4, we are here. We got a little bit of a Star Wars theme, but we're going to kick it off with the Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. Now, we have stayed there. What are your initial thoughts of the Fort Wilderness campgrounds?
I love it.
You love it. You love it. Okay. All right, great. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to talk about what we loved, right, Regan?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to, well, the listeners, you know at the drill. I'm going to give you a little bit of the parent info off the top, and then we're going to break it down what we love so much. And we loved it, didn't we, Regan?
Yeah.
Yes. So the Fort Wilderness campground is sprawling, 750 acres big. It opened in 1971 and currently has 799 fully equipped campsites and 409 air-conditioned wilderness cabins. We stayed at the wilderness cabins, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Yes. So whether you bring a tent or a trailer or decide to glamp at a rustic cabin, Fort Wilderness is a truly unique experience in the family of Disney resorts. With beautiful pine trees and lush vegetation, we truly thought we were staying in the wilderness. The sites are situated to give maximum privacy, yet you are only a short walk to the bus. And yes, families at home, the resort itself has an internal bus system to get you to the main hubs. Parks are accessible via the Disney Transportation bus system, and Magic Kingdom is a lovely, about 8-minute boat ride away. And we thoroughly enjoyed our boat rides. There's lots of unique outdoor themed activities like archery, fishing, biking, boating, and there's a tremendous food options available there as well. While Fort Wilderness is a great experience for all, so we feel it really benefits those families of 5 or more looking for an affordable resort experience. The campground supports up to 10 people per site, and the wilderness lodges can support 6 adults comfortably. What are the prices, families, you may ask? Well, let's look at a family lodging for 2 adults, 2 kids, say 12 and 7. Peak season, we'll go, say, mid-December 2020 for 7 days, 6 nights with no discount applied. So, again, Disney usually has lots of discounts, so this is just their no discounted price. Your total lodging cost can range from $648 to $1,300 for a camp trailer site. Okay, so there's a wide range in there between $600 and $1,300. A rustic cabin, which can sleep 6, would cost between $2,900 and $4,400. Just to reiterate, these prices are in peak season without any discounts applied. So Fort Wilderness provides some of the best values to large families or those seeking a 2-bedroom room lodge at an affordable cost. So now, Regan, we stayed at Fort Wilderness. We stayed in one of the cabins. What are the benefits of Fort Wilderness? What jumps to the top of your mind?
There's golf carts.
Golf carts. Okay, so let's talk about the golf carts. That's one of the funnest things. Did you enjoy the golf carts?
Yeah.
What did you enjoy about them?
Well, I liked driving them because I like having the window open and sticking my head out because I like the feel of the wind.
Yep. So they have a front cover, and you can stick your head out and get a lot of wind as you're booking around on the golf cart. Now, did you drive the golf cart at all?
No.
Yeah, I think you drove a little bit.
No.
Okay,
Grayson
so the kids are not supposed to drive the golf cart, but Grayson did, and you actually did a bit on my lap, I believe, and a little bit on your own just around the actual site we were at. But it was fun. Now, for families who've been on cruises, your golf cart is much like your door at on the cruise. So you can decorate your golf cart, and that's what differentiates your golf cart from others, because you would drive it to, say, to go to Magic Kingdom, you would drive it to where the boat is, and you would park it there, and it helps you remember which golf cart is yours when you come back if it's all nicely decorated. And lots of people had really cool decorations all over the golf carts, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Now, golf carts are an extra $62 a day, so just factor that into your cost. They're not needed, but they're definitely a nice add-on. So, Regan, what did you think about the cabin we stayed at?
I liked the wood. I just like the look of wood.
Yeah. So what about the wood did you like?
It kind of looked like trees were inside of it.
Yeah. So the cabins were really cool. They're rustic, so you actually think you're in a log cabin of sorts, and they got all the amenities: TV, fridge, stove. They got everything, and you have a private bedroom, and then you have a pull-out bed as well. Or did you have? Yeah, you have a pull-out bed, and you had your own room as well, right? With bunks, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Grace and Regan. So everybody had their own sort of space. It's really cool and a great affordable price. What else did we like at this resort?
The Hoop-Dee-Doo Review musical.
Yeah, so the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review, the show, we love it. And where is that? Where's that, Regan? Where's the show?
At Pioneer Hall.
Yeah, okay, so Pioneer Hall is near... It's about a 5-minute walk from the boat to Magic Kingdom, even less than that. And it's great. We love the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. How many times have we been to a Hoop-Dee-Doo Review?
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, 2 or 3. We can't even count because we love it so much. It's great there. The food's good, but the show is fantastic. What are some other things?
The boat ride to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, so we love the boat ride. You're there out on the water. You get a nice boat ride, unique transportation mode into Magic Kingdom. So it's a lot of fun and it's peaceful. You get to relax on the boat, and the boats come about every 10 minutes. So it's pretty quick turnaround there. And like I said, it's an 8-minute boat ride across the lake.
And there's giant turkey legs.
Yeah, so good call there, Regan. So if you like to walk, if you're one of those people that like to walk around with a giant turkey leg and just like go to town on that, this is the place for you, because it's just everybody's walking around with giant turkey legs, and it's a lot of fun, and they taste really good. And another thing we like there is they have pony wagons and sleigh rides. Now we did a Christmas sleigh ride, and we got a unique Christmas sleigh ride pin. I think there's only a couple of thousand made for all the sleigh rides for the year, so we had a unique pin for that. So it's really cool to get to be able to do that as well, and get those special Disney Easter eggs that sometimes are the pins. And you can rent boats and bikes there as well. Did we rent a boat?
No.
Didn't we go out on a boat ride? I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so Regan's having a foggy memory this morning. So we did rent a boat, and Grayson, did you go on the boat, or did Grayson?
Grayson.
Yeah, so Grayson and I, we rented a boat, and we took a tour of all of the lake, which was really cool, just putting around in the boat. Disney actually has patrols on the water, so you have to follow the rules and be careful and just be respectful, and you don't want to fall in the water for a variety of reasons, so you got to be respectful on the boat. But it's a lot of fun to get out on the water, and it's really affordable. You can also fish as well. Great fishing holes there. And they also have a Chippendale campfire sing-along. Did we do that? I don't think we did do the sing-along.
No, but we did a rodeo.
Yeah, we did a rodeo. Yeah, was that fun?
Yeah.
Tell me about the rodeo.
So there is a big setup. Chippendale were there.
Okay.
And there's a smoke off, so people were making ribs and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were eating there.
Oh, okay. And so we had ribs, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yummy. Well, that's good. I guess one of the major things that this resort is known for is it is pet friendly. So if you have that dog at home you want to bring, this is the resort for you. They have sections of it that are completely pet friendly, so it's great to bring your little dog or your big dog with you and just enjoy the atmosphere. Lots of great trails to walk on, to walk your dog, or to go biking on or walking yourself. And I think one of the things that we discovered there is when we were booking around in the go-kart, who did we see? Did we see some family?
Yeah.
Yeah, who did we see? We saw Aunt Anne Marie and Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were there. It was really cool. They had their, so they spend the winter in Florida, and we saw them there, and they were there in their trailer all set up, and it was great to actually go in and see family. So it's great if you have to meet family while you're there, and the sites are huge, so it's really cool. We got to spend some time with them as well.
There's also a tennis court.
Oh, tennis court. Yeah. And we like playing tennis too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else about Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground?
No, not anything that I think.
Okay. So folks, it also has a nice swimming pool there with a slide, just like all the Disney resorts do.
Okay, Daddy, enough. You can go on about this for days. Let's move on to our top 3 Walt Disney World characters.
All right. So, folks, we got to keep the show moving, and I'm cut off again by my daughter, but that's just the way it goes. All right. So we're going to move into our top 3, and our standards of excellence are the 3rd star, 2nd star, and 1st star. So let's begin, Regan, with our top 3 Disney characters.
So my 3rd star is R2-D2.
Oh, great choice. Why'd you choose R2-D2?
Well, he's really funny. I like in the 2nd episode, he pulls off C-3PO's head and attaches it back to his body.
Yes.
And I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's in, that would be the second episode of the Clone Wars. So good choice, Regan. Like that. And maybe tonight we'll watch the third episode. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. All right. So sticking with the Star Wars theme, I'm going to talk a little bit about my third star. It is Boba Fett. And you're like, why Boba Fett? Well, I loved Boba Fett when I was 12 years old. I absolutely loved him. Thought he was the most fantastic Star Wars character. He was mysterious. He was strong. He had rockets. He could fly. It was just awesome. I actually had the action figure when I was a kid, Boba Fett. And now with Mandalorian, we get to see a little bit more about his race. Now, for the Star Wars fans, they know Boba Fett was a clone, so he's not a Mandalorian technically. But I've learned that now. And he was one of my favorite characters as a kid. So that's my number 3 star. Regan, what's your second star?
Stitch from Leo and Stitch.
Oh, great choice. Yeah. So why Stitch?
I like his color of blue with the purple ears, and he's really cute.
Yeah. Now, for those that might have saw our video of us in the studio yesterday, or 2 days ago, he's actually sitting on the table here. We got our blue Stitch stuffed animal, which we bought at Disney. So my number 2 star, I'm going completely opposite here. I have Princess Sophia the First. Why are you laughing? I can't pick a princess?
I thought you were going to pick Aurora.
No, I'm picking Princess Sophia the First, and you know why? I have a picture with her, and her smile was so bright, and I will be posting that up shortly, but I have Princess Sophia as my number 2 star just because she made my Disney cruise experience so special when she came and visited us at the table. So that's why. We met a lot of characters from her show at that time, but because we don't get to see her that much, I thought it was really special, so she's my number 2 star. So Regan, who's your number 1 Disney character?
Rapunzel.
Oh, yes. Okay, so tell me about Rapunzel.
She has glowing magic hair and tears, technically. Anna, she's my favorite.
She's your favorite. Now, do you like watching her movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many times have you seen her movie?
Over 10 times.
Yeah. And now that is the Tangled movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 10 times. We watched it 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So big fan of Rapunzel. She's got nice hair, right?
Yeah.
Just like me? No?
You don't have hair.
I don't have hair for her. She whispered into the mic there. Okay. So good. So my number 1 star, sticking with Star Wars here, folks, I'm going with Yoda. Yoda as my number 1 star. My favorite Disney character is Yoda. Love the wisdom. Love the talking, and just like every other fan out there, you're just waiting for him to light up that lightsaber and just go to town on somebody, aren't you? You're just waiting for that. So he's a very endearing character, and that's why I've picked him as my number 1 star. Yeah, good job, Regan. So, folks, we're going to wrap up the top 3 stars now, and we're going to move into our daddy and daughter outside the park. So, Regan, it's May the 4th. We've had a busy weekend watching some Star Wars movies. Did you enjoy the Star Wars movies?
Yes.
Yeah, so we tried to get through them in chronological order, which is pretty challenging at times because there's lots of ways, I guess, you could watch the movies. We chose to watch them in a chronological order of when they were made. So we started out with episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and then we were going to do Attack of the Clones, and then Revenge of the Sith. And those are your Clone Wars. You can then, like, for families, you can fit in Solo and maybe the Star Wars Rebels and Rogue One. And then you can go into the New Hope, Empire Strike Back, Return of the Jedi, so on and so forth. But it's really hard. Like, there's lots of different ways you can do it, but we chose to do them in sort of chronological order. So we're having fun doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what else is going on, Regan?
Well, COVID-19 and at least our school board got extended until May 28th, I think.
Yeah, so you'll be out of school until May 28th, which is probably for folks at home highly unlikely they're going to bring kids back for 2 weeks in June. There's really limited value to do that at the risk of potentially delaying school reopening in September. But it's tough, right? Because you want to get back to school to see your friends. Yeah, no. You don't want to go to school, but you want to see your friends.
Yeah, I love school, but there's a lot of socializing.
Yeah, and the socializing is good for us, though. Because we're social creatures. Yeah. Well, you know what? So, folks, this is live, and you know, this is the reality. Is sometimes we get trapped in our house and we have to get out and talk to people because it's what makes us human, and building relationships is really important. And you know what? We'll talk a little bit about that when we get to our Walt's Wisdom segment, I think.
Okay.
Anything else going on?
No, I don't think so.
No, that's about it. Okay, so yeah, this segment, when we actually get outside the park and actually are allowed outside, that will be fantastic. But right now we're trapped inside, and it's, you know, schoolwork, movies, playing games, board games, things of that nature, and maybe even washing the car if we can. So I think, Regan, we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Walt's Wisdom. Now, think, believe, dream, dare is a foundational Disney quote and the inspiration for our Walt's Wisdom. Here we take a Disney quote and talk about what it means and how we are going to apply it. So would you like to go first, Regan, or would you like me to?
You can go first.
I will go first. Okay. So my quote is, "Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter." And this is from Yoda and The Empire Strikes Back. So, luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. What do you think this means, Regan?
I don't know.
So, I think Yoda is saying that us as humans, so that's us here, that's all the families at home, we are enlightened beings. So, we're not just robots, we're not just creatures that work off of instinct, but we're enlightened beings, and we're not crude in our makeup of what makes us up. So I think what Yoda's saying here is he's calling us to a higher expectation, to a higher standard. We're called to be better than what's around us. That's very God-centric, I think, that we're called to lead, to be good examples, to be enlightened, to make decisions that are in the best interest of other people. So when I think about what's going on around us in the world today, is we shouldn't be driven by our base instinct to go to the beach and get a tan. We shouldn't be driven by our base instinct to go out and congregate with a bunch of people outside in large gatherings. I think what Yoda is saying is that we're called to make enlightened decisions that support all of us as people. And so we need to do what's right as much as we can, as often as we can, not only for ourselves, but for the greater good of all the people. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. So that was my quote, Regan. I'll get an applause. What's your quote?
My quote is from Talon Karad, and he's not in the movies, he's in the novel, and he's in the novel Heir to the Empire. This is what he says. "I've found what most people call luck is often little more than raw talent, combined with the ability to make the most of opportunities."
Oh, okay, that's heavy. So what does that mean to you?
Well, luck isn't there's no such thing as luck, but usually luck is talent or just taking advantage of opportunities.
Yeah, so I think hard work factors into that. Certainly we get what we put into it more often than not. If we put nothing into something, we get nothing out of it. If we work hard at something, generally we're going to see fruits of that. So I think that's the case here. I'm going to read it again. I've found that what most people call luck is often little more than raw talent, combined with the ability to make the most of opportunities. Yeah, so I think, everybody has a talent, right? And some have a few more than just one, right? But we all have talents. And I think just like my quote, luminous beings are we, is we're called to use those talents for the greater good of all of us. Okay, just not us as individuals, but all of us as society. So I think those are two great quotes, Regan. Good job. High five. Yeah, that's right. Okay, folks, we're going to wrap up our Walt's Wisdom segment. And I think it's time, Regan, that we've had a jam-packed episode 4 here. I think it's time that we wrap up episode 4 of Dishin' It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast. I hope listeners enjoyed this episode.
Me too.
Yeah. So what do we have in store, Regan, for episode 5?
Let's talk about Disney's new Star Wars Galaxy Edge land in our top 3 resorts.
Oh, that would be great. So let's talk about the new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge land and our top 3 resorts. Yeah, that would be fun. I think I have some in my head already. So great, listeners. In episode 5, we are going to also give you detailed information about how and when Walt Disney World will reopen, and we'll look at the Florida Parks protocol for reopening and the different stages, and we'll give you a snapshot of what you can expect when the parks reopen. So I think we should sign off here from Studio A113, listeners. You can find all the latest news and updates on Dishin' It on Twitter and Facebook at Dishin' It Podcast, and Dishin' It is also on Instagram and YouTube as well. And families, as always, we reward listeners who listen to the end. A big thank you to Mrs. H for allowing us to record this podcast, and thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the great music.
And thank you. We hope that you enjoy listening to Dishin' It, the Daughter and Daddy podcast. Please remember to think, believe, dream, and dare. Goodbye, family, and may the 4th be with you.
Regan, do we have a Star Wars Extra Magic Minute?
Yes, I know you love Jabba the Hutt. Did you know who played him in The Phantom Menace?
No, I'm not quite sure who played him.
Jabba the Hutt is a puppet, and they used a special effect to make him. So in the movie credit, Jabba the Hutt is played by Jabba the Hutt.
That's awesome, Regan. Great Easter egg. Too funny. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.